Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Let's Talk Wrestling podcast. And this time, fuck it, we'll do it live. My name is Turbo Tony. I'm here alongside me with a man who has listened to the new Alter Bridge track approximately 55,387 times since it was released this week. Yeah, it's Matt Marsander.
I don't know if I can claim ownership of all of that viewing.
I'm sure you can. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you have an even share in that.
Yeah. It's well, to be honest, you know, like I have listened to it for a lot, but I'm trying to beat you for your record. You know how many times you've listened to it. But you know, that's just
if you feel like that's the case, then you may carry on.
Yeah, that's it. All right then, guys. So we just decided randomly. Well, I decided randomly, like about an hour ago, just fuck it, I'll do it. You know, just go with it, and we'll go do it live. So I don't expect many people to be here to be listening to us because we didn't really decide to do it until the last moment. But we've got plenty to talk about this week, and we've got obviously plenty to get through. Of course, we've got the very first week we'll be doing our Smackdown and our Raw reviews with the brand split. And I could see people are filtering. That's pretty cool. I honestly didn't expect people to be filtering, and that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's do our plugs first, and we can get into what you can expect from this week's show. Of course, you can interact with us by facebook.com/Let's Talk Wrestling Podcast. You can also send a tweet to us. Now, these tweets were biologically created by super scientists to be, remove all ailments from them that could possibly be given to a Twitter account. So that Twitter handle is
@TalkWrestlePod.
Did I appropriately build that up enough for you then?
I think so.
Yeah, good stuff.
I don't know if that could have gone any further.
Yeah, good stuff. And of course, you can interact with us and send us any audio questions or private emails to Let's Talk Wrestling Podcast @gmail.com. I have to say, guys, just before we get into the episode, I wasn't expecting a lot of you to be here. So this is kind of cool that you guys are slowly starting to filter in. This is actually pretty cool that we're seeing all this. But first of all, let's go through what you can expect from this week's episode, of course. We're live, so we're going to be answering some questions on the phone. Not all of them, because we do have a fan feedback section where we've taken away questions throughout the week. We've got the news with some juicy news information, including maybe some sad parts here that Lana got married this week. So that's a little bit sad, but we'll go into that. Of course, as I said there earlier on, the fan feedback. We've got my sanctuary of negativity. Matt, you thought that you might not have any trivia this week. Oh, but you do.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Fine.
Except this time, maybe, when I put it up, Matt, what I'll do is I'll put a small timer for you, and it'll give them a chance to maybe help you out and give that answer a little bit earlier, all right? And of course, we've got the Raw review and the Smackdown review. So we've got plenty of stuff to keep you guys entertained here on this Saturday night, or if you're over in America, I think it's the middle of the day, depends on where you are, but hopefully we'll be able to give you some fun live content for you here today. And the main reason why I decided to go live, Matt, is because I remember that the last live episode we did, I think it was like episode 90, and that's like almost 40. That's over 40 episodes ago. I'm like, nah, we can't do that.
Yeah.
We have to do another one. So I just kind of randomly just came up with it here. We've got a bit of procrastination to get through, Matt. Before I do that, how are you doing this week?
Yeah, not doing too bad.
Yeah.
So no real complaints I can think of.
Yeah. Apart from me dragging your ass and saying we're going to do it live this week.
That's kind of just out in the middle of nowhere. It's like going live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, sure. Okay. And yes, Ruru is very, very lucky. I think that's funny that people are still referring to him as Ruru here on this show. That's awesome. I love that. Okay, a bit of procrastination, Matt. What we've talked a little bit sometimes about the WWE 2K video games.
Yes.
What was the last one that you had again? I know I've asked you this before, but I keep forgetting. What was the last one you had?
Let me check the drawer.
Oh, he's doing it right now. Okay.
I think I sold it.
You think you sold? I think you had 2K14, didn't you?
Probably 14.
Yeah. Well,
exactly. There it is. 2K14.
Oh, you do have it. You do have it. Well, good news for wrestling fans. If you've got Xbox Gold, which is the online service. I pay for it every month. On the Xbox One, the free game next month is WWE 2K16. It's free. You can grab it. So I'm going to be grabbing that. Doing the whole thing, creating your wrestlers and going through all those games and stuff like that. I know the new game is coming out, but fuck that. I don't feel like buying the new game. If I get something for free, then I'll play it. That's
we all love freebies.
I'm cheap. I'm a cheap ass guy, right? That's just the way it is. So, I won't argue if it comes to. Well, technically, it's not free because I'm still paying, but it's only like £6 a month. Play online and stuff like that. And I only just recently got an Xbox One as a gift, actually. So that was a pretty badass gift. But still, especially as you and me still play majority on PD. The way we are.
Oh yeah.
The Rocket League and XCOM 2 and stuff like that. So
there'll always be a thing.
That's it. Another movie that's coming out soon. That one I've been very excited for. We have to talk a little bit about Suicide Squad. It's coming out. How about that Suicide Squad, Matt? You want to see it? I can tell. I can tell already.
I don't.
You don't want to? What? You don't want to see Suicide Squad? What the fuck? What the fuck, man?
I don't know.
Tell me why. Come on.
Batman vs Superman stung me.
Oh, okay.
That was terrible. And I fear they're overhyping Suicide Squad.
Yeah. It's you know what though? It's just one of those things that
it's Mojo Rawley level hype.
Really? You're that hyped, yeah?
I'm not that hyped, but that's how I feel like they're going.
Okay. I'm excited for it. I still want to be excited for it. It's going to be awesome. I am a little bit worried at some points that it might end up becoming the Will Smith show, but I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be all right. And at the very least, you got Margot Robbie in it, and she looks fine as fuck. So there is that. So there is that.
Yeah.
Adding that in there. Putting that in there. But one thing I just realized on the show, I constantly keep putting on about these blondes being very good looking. I'm not actually into blondes, but people are going to start thinking that of me.
I was going to say, you're married to a brunette.
Yeah. No, she got black hair.
Well, black hair.
Yeah. So there we are. However, Matt, we're talking about sexiness to do with the Batman sort of thing, right? And did you hear about the Killing Joke that was made into animated movie? Right, and it got released this week. This is another thing to do with Batman. Did you hear about this?
I haven't. No, and I need to look into it.
So you haven't heard about bat sex?
No. I need what you've told me about this. So
essentially, what this is, right? The Killing Joke is a really famous comic. It's one of the most loved comics of the Batman series. It's really good, right? But basically, they made an animated movie of it, and it's got tons of this extra story, and one of it being that Batgirl and Batman have sex. And it's literally they don't show you the stuff, but it's insinuated, and she takes the top off and everything like this, and it's like an R-rated thing. So that's what everyone's been talking about this week. So if you want to see Batman get it on or insinuate that he might get it on, then that's the animated movie for you.
I'll just watch College Humors. College Humors Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
If I want insinuating that they've had sex, I'll watch that.
Yeah, that's it. If anyone hasn't seen Badman, which is what we're talking about, the spoofs of Batman by College Humor, don't do it now because you're listening to us. But after the podcast, then you can go and
I found it. I'm the world's greatest detective. A is for Alfred.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Any other procrastination that you can think of here, Matt?
No.
No,
I
that's
can't
fine.
think of anything. I'm just B is for bat.
That's all you can think of now, yeah. Guys, if we, over the course of this podcast, if we're not coming over to you in terms of audio quality that well, drop us a message and we'll get straight to it. As far as I know, everything is working absolutely fine. All right, then. Let's get into the news, Matt. We got some interesting bits of news here. One relating to an actual question we got regarding Brock Lesnar. And the thought in here. And Billy McGee, you guess you killed the mood. I suppose you're more of a Nikki person. In bed, you'd say, "Come on, Nikki." Yeah. I'm the only person that's allowed to make sex jokes here, Billy McGee. You can't do that here. That's my job. And if you do it better than I do, then I won't be around anymore, and I can't allow that to happen. All right. Let's go into this. Brock Lesnar then will not be suspended. He is exempt entirely, Matt, from the wellness policy. So the news came out this week that TMZ spoke to an executive with WWE who essentially explained that, one, Brock Lesnar will not face any sanctions by WWE, no matter what UFC or USADA do to him over his failed drugs testing after fighting at UFC 200. Not only that, they went one further and they clarified it entirely, which is useful, but it's part of the reason why it gets me very fucking annoyed. It's the fact, Matt, that part-time talent in its entirety have always been completely exempt. That's basically what they're saying here.
As it would turn out, yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you didn't get angry just hearing that, then believe me, there's a roster full of full-time wrestlers in WWE that I'm sure don't like that. Just off the cuff. That is really ridiculous. And it's basically WWE stating that if you're part-time talent, you can put anything in your body and they don't give a shit. Literally, that's exactly what they're saying.
Yeah, that's how it comes across.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, are you, or if anything, part-time talent, but it's like, do you bring us loads of money?
Yeah, that's the
Are
thing,
you a big draw?
Yeah.
Have a big draw on this because I'm not going to give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's one of those things that, fun enough, a lot of these part-time talents normally they are the big box office attractions, right? And WWE, they should be testing these guys, and their thought behind it and what they've said, which I think is ridiculous, even though it does have some ring of truth behind it, is that. The idea is that, well, the full-time talent, they test them in order to keep them safe. Okay? Right? So it's to make sure that they don't do what the likes of loads of wrestlers did in the Attitude Era, which is pump up full of painkillers, steroids, make themselves into a very bad situation health-wise, which leads to wrestler deaths. Okay? I fully agree. Wrestlers abusing substances has gone down since the wellness policy went in effect. But the very idea that WWE wants everyone to believe that the policy is completely foolproof is absolutely laughable. I've heard, legitimate people in interviews say that you could drive a truck through the loopholes that are in the system. And clearly, all you have to do is just be a part-time wrestler to get out of their system.
Yeah. I think it was, they'll even work ways around it. So you're not even, I think it was like Edge who actually took time off through injury. And they're like, 30-day violation of the wellness policy. I'm out injured. Well, what a coincidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, really?
Part of it, it's what I said last week, though, isn't it? It's that the entire wellness policy and their restrictions and their punishments for not adhering to it doesn't even make sense to part-time talent anyway, because it doesn't affect them completely. And the fact is that listen, I'm going to say something right now, and people might disagree with this, but I said it last week, and I'll reiterate it again. This is the thing. If Vince McMahon only has a drug testing policy because of the pressure that he was receiving from news outlets for not having one, he was very fucking close to going to jail for giving his talent steroids, right? Yeah. It's all there. You could go find it. The whole thing of him having a brace around his neck, right, to make sure that he, the jury would pity him, that whole deal. You're going to go look at it. Even go look at fucking Hulk Hogan's testimony on the guy that got him on Vince's bad list for so long, right?
Yeah.
Vince was putting people in place to run the company for him because he thought he was going to jail. Now, he did get off, of course. But the fact is that if he could get away with it now, then he would have all of them doing shit, and he wouldn't care. He doesn't care, right? This is the sort of shit where you've got different rules for different people. The more money you make, the more WWE are willing to bend to you. That's the sort of shit that drove CM Punk away from the company, So at the end of the day, it's one person, Matt. Let me do it to one person. Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, for instance, if I were in his boots, Matt, I would be so pissed off. Look how differently they treated Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is literally getting nothing done to him. Brock Lesnar will lose no money, right, from his entire run. He won't even get suspended because it doesn't relate to him for taking drugs test, even though it's been fully confirmed, right? And Roman Reigns on the other shoe, right? And I understand why. This is not what I'm saying here, but just putting in perspective here, Roman Reigns has had his balls broken every single week since his suspension. He's been made to look like a fool. He's done more clean jobs over the last week than he has done in about a year, right? He's been publicly chastised in front of the company and the crowd and the locker room. He's been basically emasculated in front of everyone. Now, I know why they did it, but it's still not right that Brock Lesnar gets a complete pass, but Roman Reigns gets, he got shit on big time by the company. His stock got genuinely hurt by them. And it's that whole different rules for different people. I know it's entertainment and not sports. That's why USADA can't really do anything about this. And that's what WWE said. But that's the whole point of it. It's almost like, well, if it is entertainment, why have a drug testing policy at all? I think it muddies the situation a lot less if you just say, okay, everyone gets piss tests. And if they don't pass, they don't pass. Everyone adheres to the same thing. And if you're part-time talent, then it's not a 30-day suspension, but you have to miss actual dates that you would have been booked. That's the way I would do it. But WWE has this system because it is easily bended. Right? It's easily worked around. That's why they have the system here, because it adheres to people like Brock Lesnar. It lets them get off of these situations, So I think it's ridiculous. I think it's hypocritical. I think it's very cheap from the company. And it does piss a lot of fans off. And guess what, Matt? I think, and it was kind of a little bit confirmed on this week's Raw, I think when Brock Lesnar comes back, I think he'd be booed. I actually think the crowd will turn on him. What do you think? What do you think about that?
No, I don't think that's going to be the case. I haven't watched Raw because Raw is not my show to watch these days. But I'd seen the reports. I'd even watched that little bit of the of televised show. But even when the way they were just making fun of it on Battleground, they're like, and I don't need any supplements or anything like that. And already they're turning him into a joke.
Yeah, it's no, I don't. Obviously, I'm okay with Orton making a set, even though it's glass houses and stuff like that. Considering Orton, we went through that in our Battleground review, but I do think the fans will turn on Brock. I think that when you've got him doing this and getting away scot-free, people are gonna look at it and naturally be, what the fuck, man? He still walks out of UFC with his $2.5 million and it won't get touched by UFC. If USADA choose to fine him, it won't be all that money. It won't even be a significant proportion of it. And Brock Lesnar is laughing at all this. He really is. And people will still envy to be in his position because he has legitimate leverage, right, over WWE in this sense. But yeah, I mean, this is the sort of thing, I honestly, I feel bad for Reigns, right? He makes this mistake, and he gets caught out, and he gets his balls broken. He got raked over the coals big time by the company for that. Yeah. And Brock Lesnar does it.
Especially with what happened on Raw and that. Was just clean loss.
Yeah. Yeah. And if they're thinking that it's this whole redemption storyline for Roman Reigns, they haven't even done anything with him. They just made him lose a bunch, right? Yeah. So they're putting him in his place essentially there. But I think it is ridiculous, and I do think that I think the statement they sent to the locker room here is that what is essentially, if you're disposable, you better understand that we can dispose of you, and you adhere to our rules. But if you're indisposable to us, then they're on a different platform. They play by different rules.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, again, that goes back to that whole the whole Punk thing when he was just suddenly turned to Triple H. It's do you have to take a piss test?
Yeah, clearly he doesn't. Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. Does Rock have to take a piss test?
I would
doubt it.
I would love to know when was the last time someone like Triple H took a piss test, or someone like Undertaker, because we've heard rumors from people back in the day, Undertaker and Ric Flair telling people to fuck off because he wasn't doing piss tests, and they would just
straight up, just no. It's but you have to. It's no.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I do. You do have to feel sorry for Mark Hunt, definitely, in this whole situation. I think he's got shafted big time, but that's just the way it is. Let's get into some more or less muddy news, shall we say, than the Brock Lesnar stuff, because that is muddy, shall we say? And I think I reckon that not now, because people don't want to say stuff out of line, but I say in 10 years' time, one of the current talent might release a book and they'll reference this. And they'll say that really was what fractured part of the locker room and stuff like this. The whole different rules of different people, but still. There was a release from WWE this week. I was wondering when this would happen, but it has happened. ZZ from Tough Enough, he's gone. We could all see this coming.
Oh no, not ZZ.
Try not to cry too much, Matt. Try not to cry too much.
I have no more tears. I'm a broken man.
You're a broken man. I will tell you exactly why ZZ got released, and it's all the reasons why I thought he was going to get released before. He just didn't have the mental aptitude. He never looked like he had the desire or the discipline for a business that demands them all in spades, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I always thought with him, looking at ZZ, that he found it hard to keep a regimen in developmental. What happened when he got on the road? Like, that was a disaster waiting to happen right here, right? Like, as soon as he got on the road and the pressure starts mounting up, and you're sleeping in different hotels every night, and you're traveling, and you're wrestling. It didn't seem like he had the mindset for that, you know. And he seems like a nice guy, right? He was young, caught in something bigger than maybe he thought, right? I hope he finds success elsewhere. But for me, when I looked at ZZ, Matt, I never thought that the wrestling business was something that was right for him.
No, I think that's. I think that was something that WWE knew was going to be the case eventually. Where it's like, we're going to have to get rid of this kid. Like, yeah, I know. We just need to make it look like we're trying.
I'm sure. Yeah, go on.
They showed on like that show, Breaking Ground. They're like being tough on him and things like that. But I'm like, I can't help but feel that at some point, like backstage, like in the depths of the backstage sort of thing, not like someone had gone. It's like eventually he's gone. Like almost came to almost like a defeated remark with regards to just sort of like he won't stay.
Yeah. It's I'm sure that WWE hoped that the guys down there at the performance center could have like beat out that ill discipline in the guy and the lack of desire.
Yeah, like you saw enough in like Tough Enough itself, where you had like people actively trying to help him, but then you also had him not doing anything.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where he is who he is, and he shouldn't be ashamed of that. But this business isn't for him. I knew that from the beginning. Just looking at the guy, the business isn't for him. Some people you just look at and it's just like he just doesn't mesh well. So I hope he does well, because he seems like a genuine guy. Seems like someone that you'd have a laugh with. But it was just one of those things that you were waiting to happen. It's almost a little bit like ZZ and Sarah Lee, who actually won the series. I expect her to get canned at some point as well, because it didn't, for her, it was the psychology of it all. It didn't.
We hear nothing. You hear nothing about her.
Yeah. You hear, unfortunately, Josh getting on the wrong side of people. But you got, Amanda, who's now Mandy Rose. She's on Total Divas, so she's fucking doing fine. She's the one who's doing the best out of all of them.
Yeah.
In terms of long-term career. But I do expect Sarah Lee to get released, because with her, when you watch Tough Enough, it was the psychology. She didn't seem to understand it, right? She didn't seem to get it. ZZ was one of those guys as well. He understood entertainment, but not pro wrestling. And they are very different things. So hope it goes well for the guy. He's still very, very young, so still hope it's there for him. Oh, did you hear the rumors of this? Sin Cara, Simon Gotch getting in a backstage.
Oh, this is old.
It is old, but the reason I didn't want to bring it up is that the details are coming out now of why this happened and who's getting the heat from this conflict, shall we say.
Yeah.
So, as you say, Matt, it did indeed happen a while back. Apparently, Gotch said something that invoked the ire of Sin Cara, who then proceeded to kick his ass in dominant fashion. Apparently, people said it was a whitewash in terms of a fight. Sin Cara kicked his ass, right? Apparently, we're hearing reports now, apparently, that Gotch is got some heat backstage for running his mouth. That's absolutely the last thing that either he or his tag team partner, Aiden English, needs at the moment, which is to give management a reason not to use them. I think he was actually removed from rotation for that weekend at the very least. But in the same sort of breath, it doesn't surprise me for some reason. When I looked at Simon Gotch, and I said this a long time ago, there was just something that with me, I was just like, something's going to happen with this guy. Like, I didn't think it was going to be this. I just thought something was going to happen. I'm not saying that I've got a mystic ball and I can fucking predict shit, but I for some reason, right, I thought, and I said it back then, I don't think this guy is going to mesh well, you know. Yeah, it's this. Yeah, it's one of those things where it seems like he's got a lot of heat very quickly. They haven't been up for that long. Cameron's right on the money here when he says that he's got so much heat since moving up to the main roster. And yeah, it must have looked like one hell of a circus fight club, Billy McGee. But well, regardless of that, Sin Cara got the better of him and kicked his ass. So it's one of those things. Unfortunately, if you're on the wrong side of a fight like this, maybe that gets remembered more than even the reasons why the fight started, right? So you know what Vince is like. He likes his manly men who win fights and stuff like this, but. Still, like I think Jericho got like he got like massive respect backstage when him and Goldberg got in a scrap.
Oh, when he beat Goldberg, yeah, legit beat him.
Yeah.
Like, well, wrestled him to the ground. I think was the thing. But
he got the better of him at least, you know. So interesting. There it's one of those things that with the Vaudevillains, we called it when we said that when they're having those tag team title matches for a little while, we said this is probably the best it's going to get for them for a very long time. And you would think with the brand split, Matt, coming across, it would open up more avenues for them. Doesn't matter how many avenues open up. When you've got heat, and you're not going to get used. And so they need to keep their head down. And if I was Aiden English, I'd be slapping him about the head and saying, stop fucking up, because what you do affects me, right? If they're pissed off with you, they don't book me as well, right? And Aiden English has always come across as a guy who's quite professional and does his job and never really got into too much of a problem. So that's the complications of tag teams, right, Matt? Isn't it? So especially when you look at it in a business sense as well.
Yeah, I think it's quite difficult though with the tag teams because it's not really a good time for people to be ticking around like that. Especially when you've got like people like American Alpha coming up. Like I know they're on No, they're not. I was about to say I know they're on different brands, but they're not. They're on SmackDown as well.
Yeah.
Like, don't go fucking around when American Alpha's on their way.
Yeah.
But it's even like the tag team division's a bit weak again. It's back to where it was a while back, like a few years back, where I think we don't have a particularly strong tag team division anymore.
I think it's one of those divisions that.
Who is it? We've got the established teams. New Day,
Usos. Well, they just lost
Usos.
Dango, but
yeah. I wouldn't go as far yet to say the club.
I think they're all right. The club.
Yeah. But there's Enzo Cass.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not at a point yet where I accept Breezango. Like, it still stinks of push together.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And then you've got like two people who came in like up to the main roster as a tag team, like, and they were a solid tag team in NXT, and now they're like, yeah, we kind of don't need you anymore.
Yeah, they've become surplus, really.
Yeah, I think it comes down to like what you were saying. Like, I know we were on about like the whole drug thing, but it's quite similar to the fact that you're like, you know, you're indispensable. Like, we can just get rid of you.
Yeah. It's one of those things as well. If I were Gotch, I'd be worried because if I were someone backstage, I would look at Aiden English and say, well, you'll be fine on your own. You're all right. But him, like, he's a troublemaker. We can can his ass, right? So it might be one of those things. But I tell you what, though, Matt, you're onto something there. I think that the brand split did damage a lot of divisions. I think that the tag team and the women's division have been damaged.
Yeah.
Time. Now, it may not seem that way because this week, the big title change, everyone's lauding it. Fair play. But it's the depth of the women that's on there, and that's what's going to suffer. I know you got women that's ready to come up, but still, we'll see how it goes.
I think it still falls down. Like, I probably would have gone with the whole one has women, one has tag team.
Yeah, that's what I probably would have done. I know they didn't want to do that because they want both shows to be diverse and variety, but yeah, maybe it would have been healthy if they had done that. But we'll soon see how it goes. I just think that, especially the women's division on Smackdown, I think that's in serious trouble right there. But we'll see how it goes from there. Lucha Underground, Matt. People are waiting for our Ultima Lucha DOS review and our Season 2 overview. But the details on Season 3 were emerged this week. It will start September the 7th, so not that long at all before really we get Season 3 starting. Especially, I think it was a much longer break between Season 1 and Season 2. So
6 months, was it? I think it was 6 months.
It was much longer than what we're getting now at the very least, you know. So, but this time around we're getting 40 episodes rather than the 25-ish that we got this season. So a much bigger amount, you know, it's going to last for a very long time. You're looking at the majority of the year, you know, that will be going around.
Yeah.
So it's good news for fans. In terms of people might ask us, oh, are we planning on doing the Lucha reviews for Lucha Underground? I'm not entirely sure if we are. That would be something that maybe falls on my shoulders more so. I'm not entirely sure. I'll let you guys know closer to the time. But it's one of those things that maybe the added workload of the brand split may affect our decision on that going forward. And Billy McGee asks, will this be uploaded later? Absolutely. Cameron's completely right. It becomes playback. There's a little bit of time after we finish that it becomes up, and then you'll be able to watch it in full there. So there you are. So Lucha Underground, Matt. Obviously, we're going to talk about it a lot more so, you know, in the review. But we already heard some of the rumors and stuff going around the Season 3. I think they've got all of it done already, haven't they? Or if not, a vast majority of it.
I think they have, because like you hear reports that Sexy Star wins the belt.
Yeah,
and I can't remember whether that was meant to be at Lucha Tres.
I'm not entirely sure the dates, of course, but there's also, we heard that story of Matanza getting bloodied up big on an episode and stuff like that. So, so I know they re-shot that entire match, but still, you know, we have heard some rumors. I'm excited for it. Even if we don't do reviews, I will still try and catch it. It has got harder as the weeks have got on, and that's not because of Lucha Underground's fault. They've been doing fine. It's just, you know, here on the show, WWE keeps upping the ante, and WWE still is the big deal, right? So, still the most watched wrestling show in the world. So we do try and keep it up there, and it got decent traction, the uploads, but we'll see how it goes. I haven't come to a decision yet on it. And like I said, the news that we talked about a little bit earlier on, congratulations are in order. Rusev and Lana got married this week. Fair play to them. All jokes aside, with the things that
you would do to Lana.
Yeah, all jokes aside, they seem very happy with each other. So congratulations to them both. And I tell you what, Matt, considering that they managed to break the tradition of life imitating art with the whole Dolph Ziggler breakup storyline, it's meant for life for sure. You know, they managed to break that trend. So, yeah, all I have to say, Rusev, he's a lucky ass guy. That's the bottom line of it there. You know,
it's like, to imagine it's like Rusev indeed crush.
And yeah, like I said, they always seem very happy, so fair play to them. There's lots of pictures up of their wedding. WWE was sharing them all over the place. Congrats. Love is in the air. That always makes us happy here on the Let's Talk Wrestling podcast. We love the love. It's the gift of love to everyone. I'm sending it all to you now. Here,
love, like, drink it in.
Yeah, drink my love in through your mouth. Yes.
Oh, I don't know why I think about that.
Did I go a bit too far again?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
See, I had to put in that sex-based joke because Billy McGee was trying to do it earlier on to us, so I had to do that. I had to reaffirm my stature here. That's the way it goes. That's all the news we got for this week. Of course, if you guys want us to catch anything, you can guys let us know in the chat, or you can let us know in the comment section after this video goes up, of course. And Billy McGee says, I don't watch the Lucha reviews, to be honest. Majority of our fans don't. It's one of those things that it's funny, actually, that we probably get the more amount of views than maybe we would expect for the percentage of overall subscribers that we have going towards it. So it's still a success. We wouldn't expect it to go crazy and loads of people to watch it. I honestly don't blame people for not going out of their way to watch it. And the reason why I say that, if you're trying to keep up with WWE, it's 5 hours a week. So like having an extra hour onto that, believe me, I've got no qualms against people, in that sense.
I think that's why I'm finding quite difficult at the moment trying to catch up with the rest of Ultima Lucha. Like, I've watched the first hour. Like, I think it was the first hour. Like, the one that involved the 4A opportunity. Like, match up. Yeah. Like, I've watched that. That's all I've watched at the moment.
Yeah. And you know what, Matt? I'll openly say it right now. I haven't watched any of Ultima Lucha DOS yet, and that's partly the reason why we're going to say. Like I said, we were talking about it more, but I think them splitting up into 3 different shows was a major detriment to me, at least. It gave me a reason not to watch it immediately. That's my only thought on it there. Yeah. So there we are. Fan feedback then. We've got some fan questions, some interesting ones, some kind of crazy ones, but we'll answer them as usual, as we always do, because we love you guys. Dorian Cast has an idea, Matt, for turning AJ Styles back to face. So as you are the Smackdown guy, I'll relate to you and get your thoughts on it.
Okay.
So it involves Bray Wyatt indoctrinating him, making Styles do his bidding, helping him win a title. That's around about Survivor Series. So obviously Styles helps Bray win. Then AJ carries on, bailing Wyatt out, keeping his title secure. Then AJ wins the Rumble, says that he was just biding his time, and now it's Wyatt and AJ at WrestleMania to make him go face. What do you think of that idea?
I'm not crazy about it.
But why, man?
Because it makes Bray look like a pussy.
Well,
I think in doing that, like, you kind of, yes, it works, and like that sort of match, like at Mania, would be great. But I can't help but feel that it would actually kind of harm Bray. It is like I can't do it. Like I think it's like with the Wyatt family and that. It's not the fact that he needed like Rowan and Harper. Like, he was fully capable of getting the job done himself.
Yeah. One thing I will go in defense of Dorian, though, is that one of the things that we have said on the show is that we would like for them to play up a lot more Wyatt's like mental abilities. That like he gets into your head and beats you in your head. So I wouldn't want him to brainwash AJ. The way I do it is that you remember the dynamic that they had with JBL and HBK. Remember when Bradshaw was basically paying him? He had leverage over HBK with money, essentially. Right?
Yeah.
I would like for maybe Wyatt to come to do something like that. So he's not brainwashing AJ, but he could be like blackmailing him, or he could be convincing him or something along those lines to basically do his, so AJ knows what he's doing is wrong, but he feels like he has no choice. That was the whole thing that HBK had, right? When Bradshaw had the money.
Where he had to like, put food on the table sort of thing.
Yeah. That's basically what the story looked like they were going for there. I don't think the story was particularly great, but I remember the ending getting a good response at the very least.
Yeah.
So there's something maybe there, and maybe they build up the whole thing that Wyatt has built all these guys because AJ's been in his corner or whatever. Or AJ's come in and unfortunately he's got a bit of a bad reputation now with the locker room because he's been saving Wyatt's title run. And then maybe it's one of those things that eventually AJ just snaps, and it's one of those things that you could have the ending of the Royal Rumble with the other members of the Wyatt family and AJ, and they're telling him, "Fucking jump out of the ring, right? Because we got something over you." He says, "Fuck that," tosses them out the ring, wins the Royal Rumble, and then goes to this war with the guy who has it over him and says, "Fuck it, do whatever you like. You've got no power over me anymore. I don't even care anymore. Everyone hates me now in the locker room. That would be a bit of a redemption thing for him. So I think there is something there. If they would tweak it just a little bit where he wasn't fully brainwashed, you know?
Yeah, I kind of feel like they'll end up in the same situation that they had with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Well, they're like,
what, do you think
let's
they would get
get him in
and shit?
Oh, we've made a terrible mistake.
Get him out as soon as possible. Yeah, maybe. I actually like what they did with Bryan though when he was in the Wyatts for a little while. I actually kind of liked it.
Say for a while, it was a matter of weeks.
It was like 2 weeks or something, wasn't it? Yeah. Cameron says my idea works because AJ would need the money after working for TNA. That's a bit harsh. He realizes that he's actually broke as fuck. He wasn't paid at all by TNA. They didn't have any money to give him.
Like all of a sudden, all those checks have bounced.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
Oh fuck. But the idea of Bray having money just doesn't seem to fit the character very well. But
a man who comes across as sort of like a man of the sort of like man of the earth sort of thing.
Yeah, that's
and all of a sudden, it's like, I could bail you out, man.
Yeah. I got loads
all
of
these
money.
things that, like, he cuts all these promos of all things that are just literally just sort of like sentimental or just all these material objects, and there's all of a sudden it's like, but I sleep on money every night.
Yeah. Let's say, I mean, at the end of the day,
it almost turned into Dusty then for a second, but it's fine.
It's one of those things like you look at Bray Wyatt's attire, you think you probably could buy that entire thing for like $40, right? You know, he's working for WWE.
The worst part is, a lot of the time recently, I've been looking at Bray and like with the jacket and the hood and the big old beard, I was like, the more and more Bray Wyatt is looking like my mate Danny, and it's just like now every time I just look at my mate, I'm just like, you're fucking Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. Now, if he starts garbling about being the eater of words, and maybe you might need to get the fuck out of that friendship right there. But, you know, just saying.
Probably could do.
Because otherwise you'll come on this show and you start spouting garbage about following the buzzards and stuff like this. And I'll be like, oh, okay, Matt, you've changed. You know?
What's happened?
What happened to the sex-based jokes, damn it? Yeah. So, there is that. Anything else you want to say about that before we move on?
New.
Billy McGee asks, what do we think of WCPW? So Billy McGee, you're here with us. We're answering a question here and now. I have never heard of it, truthfully.
I watch a lot of What Culture. I am aware of it, but I don't know of it.
Is that what it is?
It's What Culture's wrestling promotion.
Oh, I have no idea. I imagined that it was just an indie promotion getting some steam. All I can say is I'll keep my eye out, but you know, What Culture?
To be fair, if What Culture started their own promotion, isn't that essentially an indie promotion?
Oh, it is. Yeah, of course it is. But so yeah, I guess maybe I was correct to some sort of extent. But no, like I said, I've never heard of them before.
Yeah, no, it's What Culture's.
Have you watched any?
No, I haven't watched any. I would just watch a lot of What Culture.
Okay, so you know of it, shall we say?
I know of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Not myself. No, I'll keep an eye out though. I'm not going to go and look an entire back catalog. I don't have time throughout the week, but I'll definitely keep my eye out. And if anything comes up, I'll give you my thoughts. That's all I can really say. Travis TLC asks if the Helluva Kick is meant to be a play on the words of hell of a kick. Yep, that's exactly it. That's exactly what it means. I'm sorry.
I don't remember sound like real condescending, but it's like one of those like thumbs up. Like
yeah, no.
Good job.
Not really. It's just is. They're saying that Damien Sandow just wrestled for What Culture Pro Wrestling, and Kurt Angle's going there. That's pretty big names. So fair play. Good stuff. And also one of the things as well, he wants to defend Brock Lesnar here. And that's not wrong, but he's saying here that what if this drug pop-up has it's just the asthma medicine that his teammates said it would be. Lesnar doesn't have a steroid body at all, and he's failed 2 out of 6 tests, so maybe they're false flags, as he's never failed a drugs test in his entire athletic career. Just a rebuttal to that, because I like your skepticism, because it's right to be skeptical, even on the other side, right? No problem with that at all. Here's my response to that, though. Failing 2 out of 8 tests proves that it's not a false flag. that means he's flagged twice, you know. That's the way that I look at it there. If it was 1 out of 8 tests, then sure, then maybe. But 2 out of 8 tests, yeah, to me. Maybe his point here is that why didn't he fail 8 out of 8 tests? You don't know whether or not they were like the first 2 tests or whether or not he was taking supplements. You don't know any of that. So if it was asthma medicine, I'd be pretty sure that Lesnar would be out now saying that it was, and he hasn't said anything. And most of his career in the limelight of WWE, you know, you're thinking about 2002, yeah, sure, the wellness policy was just being created around about then, but it wasn't like it is now. And even now, we just went through how many holes are in it. So I'm definitely not saying it's not wrong to ask these questions, Travis, because it isn't wrong to ask them. It's right to be skeptical on both sides. But in my opinion, he got caught taking an estrogen blocker, which isn't a steroid. I know exactly what you mean in terms of you get guys that take steroids, their bodies start to fucking degrade, right? You can see it with some of the older guys, right? Their body just doesn't seem to be able to hack not having steroids or the long-term use of it. Here's the thing, though. We weren't ever saying that Lesnar was taking anabolic steroids, which is muscle builders. You have steroids for other uses. I get steroids pumped into my leg for my pain relief. So... fucking hurts, by the way. I'm getting it done again.
Well, any serious like rashes and that lot, it's steroid creams.
Yeah, you know, like anabolics are directly like it might have changed. I don't know enough about it, but this is what I think anyway. But anabolics are, you know, heavy doses of shit put straight into your fucking veins, and that's to build bulk and mass, and that's the stuff that shrinks your fucking nuts. So I don't think he's been taking anabolics, but he could still be taking steroids, right? He could still be taking PEDs. They wouldn't have the ravaging effect on his body, right? So, and you know, you've got to think as well that a lot of those guys, when they had the degradation on their body, let's say 20 years ago, medicine has just evolved since then, right? I'm not saying that there's a steroid out there now that probably gives you all the benefits of steroids of old and none of the fucking problems. You know, I'm not saying that for sure, but I'm saying that that's just the way things evolve nowadays. You know, think of 20 years ago, people didn't even think we had fucking mobile phones. Now we've got fucking mobile phones that can connect and show us little Pokemon on the street that we can go and catch. So, you know, things change, you know, so I don't completely know everything. That's just my take on it there, but still, he's fine though. He doesn't give a shit. He wants to get his paycheck, so he won't give a shit. But that's what I believe he took anyway, but still, it's okay to be skeptical, Travis. That's what I'm saying. And I actually kind of like your skepticism on the other side. It's cool. In fact, one of the things I like, Matt, which you know, as some of our fans have picked up on, I love hearing other people's point of views when it's against my point of view. As long as it's respectful. Yeah. If it gets disrespectful, then I won't have time for it. But if it's respectful, fucking love it all day long. Racist fan Rocks asks, where do you get a Cork City FC jersey? Now, either this is an inside joke or a very strange question. From their online store, I imagine. They sell loads of general Cork sports jerseys in the stores over here. You often see loads of kids just, you know, in the green Cork, the actual Cork badge, and you know, like green and red is kind of the colors, or red is like the colors. So like, you know, their main thing is the whole red, you know, and they wear a lot of red and white as well. It's just red and white. My wife is telling me here now quite avidly. The inner pride of Cork in her is telling me off right now. So there we are. But yeah, don't know why it is. Maybe this is a private, you know, like a inside joke or something. I don't know. But there you go. There's my answer. Cameron Hutton, who's here with us here, asked us last week regarding my plane trip that whether or not it was the phalange that was broken, Matt. Now, Cameron, if we're on the same flight and the phalange does go down, I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you. Do you not get that reference there, Matt?
I was thought you were going for Friends.
It is Friends.
It was Friends.
Yeah.
You was cut out. You was cut out a little bit, and it's like when you went, "I'll be there for you," and just already my mind had gone. When your brains dance.
I wouldn't sing it, Matt, because that would be too easy. Okay. All right. So there you are. There you are. Okay. Cam Brock asks, what Lucha Underground talent would we think would be a great fit for WWE? Instantly, I thought Ricochet.
Cage.
Cage, another guy, if his physique could keep up with it. I remember actually Someone wants to coming out and saying he would not pass a drugs test. I'm not going to go that far, but he is big. He's a big guy. So I will say that. Jack Evans, though, man. Jack Evans. I think he would be pretty good. Yeah, down in NXT.
Yeah, through NXT, or I'd like bring him in for the CWC or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think he would be perfect.
Let's be real controversial. Do you know who I think would be really good? Direwolf. The Direwolf.
Are you saying that just to piss me off, Matt? Are you doing that?
I am, exactly.
You
for
do,
that reason alone.
You know what? You fucking succeeded, okay? Yeah.
I mean, why else would I?
Okay, yeah. I pissed you enough of the show, so there we are. I deserve it here and there. People will know by now I'm not a Justin Gabriel fan or PJ Black, whatever you want to call him. Never been a big fan of his.
Direwolf.
Fuck off.
Direwolf.
No. Denied, and you know what? There's another guy, the Mac. Yeah,
no.
Take on the Mac. Come on, it got to take on the Mac.
I wouldn't take on the Mac.
I would.
He's a big black gimmick infringement.
Yeah, but the guys that he's gimmick infringing off of don't fucking love him. So yeah, put him out there. Yeah, Austin loves the Mac.
Yeah, I get that Austin loves the Mac. Of course he loves the Mac. He's like looking at a black him.
Oh, Cameron Hutton just said the Mac is horrible.
I like the Mac, but I am not a fan of the Mac.
Now, are we talking about the Mac, the German guy that was on the CWC, or are we talking about the Mac from Lucha Underground? They're two different people. So
the Mac.
I like both guys, by the way. The Urban German. I love that fucking name. The Urban German. Fucking love it, but still, there we are. I'm the big The Mac fan. I do.
The Mac fan.
The Mac. Fuck it. Any Mac out there. Return of the Mac. Fucking love that song as well. Why not? So, yeah, all works with me. All works with me. We get another fan here with their name just being The Mac. I fucking love you. Yeah, that's the way it is. You're instantly in there, right there. Cameron Hines says, I just really don't like Michael Jackson. Yeah, you're talking about the Urban German from CWC. You have good reason to be fearsome of someone, you know, maybe taking a little bit too much inspiration from Michael Jackson, but still, anyway.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're gonna go cheer for Nakamura.
Yeah, but he's a little bit more like, you know,
justify it. Try and justify it.
He makes that shit work, okay? The difference is, I might have sex with Nakamura. I wouldn't have sex with the Mac, okay?
I think it's safe to say that you wouldn't have a choice. I don't know why. I don't know why. Just Nakamura comes across a little rapey.
Okay.
But he's got that gentle Japanese voice, so it'd be gentle.
You'd make you think that you wanted it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I once said to a lot of people,
it would indeed be strong style.
Oh, okay. We need to tiptoe away.
Step away from this quickly.
We do. It's getting a little bit awkward, I must admit, but it's not the first time on this show. This certainly won't be the last. I can guarantee you that. All right then. Billy Mickey, what the hell is going on? I left for 5 minutes. I come back to Nakamura's rapey. We
apologize.
We sincerely apologize. Believe us when we say this. It's us, not Nakamura. Believe us.
Don't tell him I don't want to be kicked.
Yeah. We might deserve it after that. To be fair, we might deserve it.
He's on Talk is Jericho this week, and it's really good.
Oh, have you already?
Yeah, twice. I thought it was really good.
Good stuff. Did he come across as rapey during that at all?
No, no. I don't know. It's probably the gentle. Like it's the gentle voice.
Yeah. Okay. You maybe you fell in love with him a little bit. You know?
A little bit. If I wasn't already a fan.
Yeah, that's it. Okie dokie then. So we've been having a laugh. We've been having some great times. Well, that shit needs to end right now because it's my sanctuary of negativity. Yes. Now, Matt, last week, I don't think I could top my rant last week. right, about Ryanair and
not at all.
Gatwick, right? That was one of the most horrific experiences of my life. I tried to do it justice, but my wife listened to it and said that she thought it was even worse than that, and she wanted to give her own thoughts on it. But still, anyway. Now, this week it's a little bit more tame. Of course, I was going to go with something that I've been thinking of for a while, but something just happened over the course of the week. Matt, it's delivery men are my sanctuary negativity this week.
Could this be with regards to the earlier in the week when you were like, I'm expecting a package and we'll probably have it at some point?
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is.
It still isn't here.
So here's my story. Okay. So I've ordered an Xbox One recharge kit because when you get the Xbox One thing and you get it, it's only got like the batteries in. It's not a recharge thing. I was like, oh, that's a bit shitty. But I ordered one, gonna get one. And it's arrived now. That's the end of the story. But still, how did we get there? Okay. So I understand from this guy's point of view that he knocks on the door. He sees that someone's in, but he's a podcasting prick who's writing out notes with headphones on. And I didn't even notice he was there. Okay. So he puts a slip through the door and says, okay, you need to call me so I know when to deliver your package. And I'm like, I'm feeling pretty bad here. I'm like, oh, fuck this shit. You know, it's my fault, Matt. It's my fault. So my wife sends him a message, says, oh, you know, we'll definitely be in all tomorrow. What time will you be in? And he gives us a time. I think it was like 1 to 2, something like that. Awesome. No problem. I had it planned then. I was going to stay in all day and I wasn't going to put any headphones on, no podcast work. I literally had like the door in my sight all day, ready for this. Bar the podcast with you, but I still had the door open to see it when it happened. I even said to you before we did the Battleground review, okay, so I've got the door open, and if it happens, I have to stop the review.
Just bear in mind I may have to hit pause. Yeah,
exactly, right. Now, you went off a little bit after that. But, he decided just not to fucking come. So, yeah.
Best thing.
Just arrives the day afterwards, happy as Larry, hands it over, doesn't really know why I'm annoyed. But there you are. So delivery men, if you're going to say you're going to be there at a certain point at a certain time, you should be there at a certain point at a certain time. Otherwise, you get an angry-looking man with a cane looking at you like you're a cunt.
To be fair, like, it's not even just to do with delivery drivers. It's just that's one of my biggest pet peeves. It's just sort of like, oh, it'll be then. Will it be then? Yeah. Will it really? Yeah. So you say 8, it's going to be 8. Yeah. It's 9 o'clock. Well, yeah, but no, yeah. Just go.
Just annoying. A minor annoyance, but it was an annoyance nonetheless.
Yeah.
I know we've got people here asking for just a weekly Maurice rant from you, Matt. Maybe we might have to make that the new mainstay.
No, and I can't. It's not like I can avoid it because it's on Smackdown.
Oh, of course she is.
Oh, I don't want to weep.
See, the thing is, Matt's sanctuary negativity is going to be the Smackdown review. It's just the parts where Maurice is there, you know, and the Miz. Yeah. Oh, you're not liking that water, Matt? You're not liking that water? No?
No, I don't like that.
The fucking angst in your voice is heavy, man. I can fucking feel it. All righty then. Guys, in the comments, are you ready for a bit of trivia? Now, I know, of course, that this is a little bit on a delay, but it's one of those things here where by the time that maybe you've heard it, I'm going to give a little bit of time for Matt to give the answer. Type it in if you've got it. I'm going to give you about 10 seconds, okay? And I'll count it down for you, Matt, and you give me my answer after 10 seconds. So you're not allowed to give me, because we'll let them have a chance, okay?
Well, I have 10 seconds to figure it out.
Yeah, but you can't tell me in those 10 seconds. You have to do it after that. So it gives our fans time to play along with us.
Okay, right.
Okay. So we're going to test you guys here, and you may be thinking, what is the subject of Matt and the subscribers' super sexy, amazingly difficult but intense, awesome challenge live? That's built up quite nice for you there. The subject for this week is The Rock outside of the ring.
Okay.
So all these questions are in response to, how do you guys know the answers to all the questions? Have you been fucking cheating? Damn it! They're saying it and they know everything. Yeah.
One of the answers is Tooth Fairy.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get into this anyway, man.
Longest Yard. He's not in
What?
Longest Yard. Walking Tall.
Don't start yet, man. Come on, calm down. Right. So this isn't just movies. This could be anything that's outside of
Ballers.
Of thing. Okay.
He's
So
shouting things.
stop it, Matt. Stop it. Okay. You're riling me up here. Okay. All right.
Surgeon Intelligence.
Quiet.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. Right. Are you ready, Matt? Or are you gonna disrail this any further?
Okay.
All right. This is episode. Not episode number 1. What have you done to me, Matt? Fuck you know you got me all. You know what? I'm not gonna do it now. Fuck you all. Yeah. Unless Matt apologizes to me.
I apologize.
I was going to do it anyway, mate. You didn't have to apologize. You know what I'm like. Anyway.
Go on.
All right, are you ready then? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
For realsies now. Are we ready for realsies? Okay. Question 1. In this show, The Rock is battling demons of his now retired NFL career while trying to maintain a new job in managing the finances of his still playing friends.
Ballers.
You're supposed to give the answer after 10 seconds, man.
Oh, Jesus, I forgot. Yeah, but I've already said one of the answers is Ballers.
It is Ballers.
I've never seen an episode. I'm just assuming that's the case.
I get the feeling that you knew you had to wait 10 seconds, but you said it just to fuck with me.
That's it.
Yeah. All right, Matt. You know, getting me all up in a heat now. I'm getting sweaty and shit. Yeah. All right. Question 2. In this movie, The Rock indulges in some major building destruction porn as he runs around San Francisco on foot and in helicopter. So 10 seconds passing here for you guys to get this before Matt gives me the answer or fails miserably. I'll do it one more time. Matt, here's the question. In this movie...
See, look, they've got the answers. They're showing the answers.
What is your answer, Matt?
It's San Andreas.
It is San Andreas.
And that's before I saw that everyone else has been saying.
Okay. That's very good. I'm giving them a chance. Good stuff. Question number 3.
I'm going to stop looking at the chat.
Okay.
Just going to give me hints.
Well, they're helping you out this week, Matt. They're helping you out. Number 3. This one is hard. All right? This one is hard. Who performed a song called It Doesn't Matter that had guest vocals from The Rock spouting the titular song
it's
name
not difficult. It's not difficult at all because it was motherfucking Wyclef Jean. It doesn't matter. Yeah,
oh my god, how did you get that, man?
Because I was joking about it with a guy at work about 2 weeks ago.
I was absolutely fucking sure that you wouldn't get that. That was my man. I'm actually really worried now. Fuck. Okay, number 4. Then, are you ready?
I'm not a punk ass jabroni.
In what movie did The Rock play a smooth-ass cop alongside Samuel L. Jackson before falling into their collective deaths?
Do I have to wait? Or can I just say it?
You do. Well, you have hardly been fucking waiting now, have you, really?
Oh, so it's the other guys.
It is the other guys. Well done, Matt. Oh, no. I think you're going to get your second one correct, Matt. I think you're going to get your second challenge. Damn it. Fuck it. Number 5, then. To ace this one and to really stick it to me, Matt, this week, The Rock took underprivileged teens and put them to work on the American football pitch, changing their lives and aspirations for the better. This is my last chance, Matt.
I was about to say, where's the question?
You have it.
What was the question?
Oh, you want it again? Okay. The Rock took underprivileged teens and put them to work on the American football pitch, changing their lives and aspirations for the better.
Is it what is the question? What was it? Because you
you
haven't given me a question there.
Okay, what was the fucking movie? All right.
Oh, the fucking movie.
Oh, I got him. Oh, I think I've got him.
Was it Gridiron Gang?
Oh, fuck you. Absolutely,
It was.
fuck you, man. Fuck you, fuck you. Yes, it was the Gridiron Gang. Well done. Well done. All right.
It's a really difficult question and shove it.
Are you going to be listening to Wyclef Jean now for the rest of the podcast?
Maybe listening to Wyclef Jean for the rest of my weekend.
Okay. Matt, congratulations. You have won your second super sexy, amazingly difficult but intense, awesome challenge. Well done. Good shit right there. And you had
much celebrating.
Some people playing along there. So oh god, still. Billy McGee says that this was a bad quiz. Jumps off bridge. Man, you guys have really been mean this week to me when it comes to the quiz. You know,
that's what you get for trying to go live. So we're gonna do it live, and it's like, you mean where they can actively voice their opinions directly to you?
Oh dear, you make me feel sad now. Next week I'm gonna make it the hardest fucking thing. Literally, it's gonna be how many belt buckles did this guy have in a match back in 1983?
How many
that wasn't aired?
That's it. Like, how many individual poppers are there on the original NWA World Heavyweight Championship? Fuck.
Yeah, that's it. I'm really gonna stick it to you guys. You know, I'll stick it to you guys. Anyway, good stuff here, Matt. Okay, so now we've got the double reviews that we're going to be going here from here on out. So before I prefix this, guys, we're having a lot of fun here. I'm glad you guys are sticking around with us here. And listening to us live and interacting, and thanks a lot for sticking around for us. When we do this, it's one of those things here that we might worry that myself and Matt aren't completely confident about doing the new style of reviews because they're just completely new. Basically, we're going to try and make them as close as what we did to before without removing a lot of the chaff, essentially. It's one of those things that if it doesn't work that well, then next week we'll just try reviewing it in a different way. You know, we want to try and keep the comedy and everything like that as well. So, Matt, I guess we should go Raw, as that's what happened first in the week. Is that how we're going to do this, or
are we back to Rapey Nakamura? It's going Raw. There you go. You were worried about us losing the humor, then you're welcome. I tip my hat.
Yeah, well, yeah. Is it Mar Sanders left the building? That's your mic drop, is it? You know,
there's a lot of nod bowing to the crowds.
Okay, fair enough. So it's a new start for Raw, new theme song and a new logo. Did SmackDown get a new theme song?
A new what stage?
No, new theme song.
Yes, and it kind of saddened me because I really liked the original when I was like, oh, cool, I get SmackDown. I actually quite like their song, and now they changed it, and now I prefer yours.
Oh, well, the new Raw
you've
one.
Got Shinedown.
Oh, we do have Shinedown, and it's good. I like it.
I like that track.
We did see them in concert, actually. People might not know that. We had to see them at the same time we saw Hailstorm, who did the NXT theme, and we're big fans of Alter Bridge, as we said at the start, and Alter Bridge was the main act, so that's why.
I was going to say, it's almost all come back into wrestling, because Alter Bridge did Metalingus.
You know what's even funny, though, Matt? That was the same building that we saw NXT TakeOver in.
It is.
So there you are. It was all meant to be. So the announce booth has also moved here on Raw. They've moved it, Matt. They've moved it back up to the way where they used to have it with the 3-man booth with Coach, JR, and King. They put it up next to the ramp, next to the stage.
Yeah.
And what they're doing now, which I really like, is at the beginning of the show, they've got like I've said I like this before, actually, so maybe, someone was listening. But basically, I said that I really liked it when they did the camera angle of looking at the announce booth almost behind them. So it captured them and the entire crowd behind them.
Where they're stood facing.
Yeah. And that's what they have here. They've got it here, so it's all looking forward. It looked very professional. It looked new, which is important.
I like your new stage.
Yeah, I
I
thought that the
think
stage
the stage was
changes
quite good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And I don't hate the emblem so much now. It's actually a moving like graphic.
I'm not as still.
It's not the best, I know, but at least it's not that flat red.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, once it's in movement, I guess. Yeah, and stuff like and animated and all that shiz. Oh, obviously, one of the big deals here. Before we actually get into what happened on the show, I just want to talk initially just about the announce booth. Graves obviously has taken JBL's place. JBL's gone to SmackDown. You've got David Otunga now, haven't you? Let me talk a little bit about my announce team. I want you to talk about a little bit about yours because that's a big deal here. I thought the announce booth already, Matt, you can already tell the massive weight that is off of Michael Cole's shoulders by JBL being gone.
Well, he doesn't have to compete against him.
Yeah. Corey Graves not only added quality there, but it seemed to free up the other guys to get their points across without Bradshaw fucking overbearing on them. And the Mackle, you know, all that. Yeah.
Sports.
Michael Cole here was a lot better. You know, he was a lot better here. And Cameron Hutton says, JBL blocks me on Twitter. Believe me, mate, you ain't the only one. He's blocked fucking tons of people. So you're not a wrestling fan until JBL.
I can't remember. Do you know what? I haven't been blocked by JBL. I've got blocked by Regal.
Yeah, well, he did. You got on his bad side, though, to be fair. But we already said that before. If someone wants to hear the story of why Matt got blocked by William Regal, then you can ask, and he will tell you. But yeah, I'll tell you what. Like, I like the announce booth. Graves again. As soon as he came up, he could validate everything I said before. Yeah, it's perfect. So the announce team on Raw, far better. I get the feeling it wasn't like that on SmackDown, but do tell, Matt.
So obviously, I've got JBL now. Whoa.
Yeah.
No, it's not like that on SmackDown. It's not. He's actually wound it back a bit. He's not as intense. My current problem with the SmackDown announce team is Otunga.
Okay, go on.
Like, there are times I forgot he was there.
Wasn't imposing himself.
He's not imposing himself. He's just quite quiet as well. And like, there was a lot of times where it's like, even though I'm about halfway through SmackDown, I forgot who's the other guy. Like, why does it sound like I've got like it sounds like Saxton if he was ill.
Oh, really?
He's quite quiet and just like really reserved.
Saxton if he was ill, I love it. Well, you know, maybe I need a little bit of illness in Saxton because Saxton overdoes it sometimes, but still. Ronaldo, obviously he's got.
Ronaldo, golden.
Yeah. But I get the feeling though, Matt, then that commentary booth isn't meshing nearly as well as the Raw one.
No, if that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
I think it might be the fact that it's quite early days for that team. Because the only difference on the Raw one is they just basically took JBL out and put Graves in. It's one swap. Where with SmackDown, pardon me, it is that change. Like a drastic change where the only person who's still on the commentary team of SmackDown is Ronaldo.
Yeah, that's it. It's they've got to get that chemistry up with each other. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah. But still, to that point, I still think that it's one of those things that Graves, like, he's still playing the heel announcer. He just plays it with a lot more class and a lot more subtlety than a JBL does. With JBL, he thinks that in order to get over what he thinks, he needs to shout a lot and be very loud.
Yeah.
Graves, with him, it's the scathing comments that he will say it. You won't realize the impact that it leaves until 5 seconds later. You're like, fucking hell, that was a good line right there that he left right there. So
it's all of a sudden it's just like, Graves is a dick.
That's it. And that's why we've been big fans of Graves here. So I am quite happy what they've done here. I like the different camera angles. I like them changing where the announce table was. It's all good on my side anyway. But they start off here on Raw by bringing the entire Raw roster out. Neville is there. He made his return this week. We'll get into that in a little bit. Stephanie blames Reigns for screwing up at Battleground and not winning the championship. And his face, literally, Matt, I can tell you exactly what his face says. It says, fuck you and your wellness policy. Go tell Brock Lesnar to go fuck himself. That's essentially what his look was here. They set up 2 fatal 4-way matches, the winners of which will face each other in the main event of that night. And the winner of that match will face Rollins at SummerSlam for what is the newly dubbed WWE Universal Championship.
How does that one feel?
That sounds like dump. Personally, I do not like the sound of that title. I think Universal... It sounds like they're opening up the door for Matt Hardy to come back because they need a title that reflects just how fucking far out there he's gone. You know, he's so far out in the universe that if we ever want Matt Hardy back as Broken Matt, we need to make sure we call it. Oh, it's just fucking. I don't like it. It's. I don't. I'm not a big fan of that name. The Universal Championship. Sorry, our Martian's going to land, and then we're going to have Seth Rollins against Glorpy Glorp from the planet Bloob.
Just Kankonus. That's all I'm just thinking.
Yeah, exactly, right. And you can have Rollins doing all his, all his moves, hooking up the tentacles. Exactly. No, I'm not a big fan, but still, they need to make something. It's just Universal Champion. But still, anyway. One of the people in that in this title picture is the upcoming Finn Balor. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Of course, as well, they made the Women's Championship match on Raw, the one I thought they were going to leave to SummerSlam, but it's between Charlotte and Sasha. That happened on this night as well. Matt, they were going big dick here on this first episode, so and you can't exactly blame them too much for that. They want to put a marker down. They really wanted everyone to know that this was like a new beginning, right? And they were going to go all out on that. You know what? I would have criticized them for not going all out. This should be a big deal. So fair play to them on that. So we get the first fatal 4-way match, and it's Balor, Cesaro, Rusev, and Owens. So the theme of this, first off, one of the things here that I really liked just from the outset, when you see Stephanie McMahon at the beginning of this show, how many times are you normally used to seeing Stephanie McMahon throughout the rest of the show? You normally see her about 10 extra times, right?
Yeah.
On this week's episode of Raw, that was the only time you saw her. You never saw her again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Foley and Steph were nowhere to be seen for the rest of the entire show. They literally came in at the start, got their shit in, gave you the hooks of why.
Here's the plan. Here's the plan for tonight. Have a good night.
Yeah, and gone. They did a William Regal here, which is get their shit done and get out and let the focus be on the actual storylines and the wrestlers themselves. Fair play. They need to do that far more often, and I don't think it's a coincidence that them not being too involved and the quality of the show being very good. I think there's a coincidence there with that, so... But still, Balor gets the victory here in a kick-ass first match, let's be honest. A very good kick-ass.
I was going to say, that sounds like a good way to start off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. These guys did very well. Everyone got a close call, right? Everyone had their moment. And a strong start for Balor in what could be the beginning of a monumental WWE run for him, especially what happened later on in the night. We had the Nia Jax debut as well. And I think, listen, guys, in the chat here right now, I know that Nia Jax gets a worse rap than really what I think that she deserves from wrestling fans, because she's not bad. She's not okay. I would have left her in NXT a little bit longer, but she is all right. Listen, Matt, I've always said, and you've agreed to this, there is space for someone like Nia Jax in WWE.
Yeah.
Now, this is a squash match for her. She looked a touch nervous, I will say that. And the match itself wasn't particularly amazing, but it was...
It was a local talent squash match, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It's just there to it's to educate her, and it's the monster build up for her, right? Yeah. It worked for Ryback. They're trying to do it for Strowman, which I'll go into that a little bit as well. Listen, Nia Jax, she should have spent more time in developmental, but I do think that she kind of gets being a heel, right, of the whole thing. She gets it. I think she gets it in her head a little bit more than some other women did when they first came in. Psychology, in the psychological sense. And I do think that the in-ring portion of her work will improve a lot better than most people think she does. I think she's got genuine potential. So I'll leave it at that for now. But no means am I saying that she's the finished product. Right?
I know.
She is where I'd hope she would be at this point in her career, in terms of quality in the time that she started. I can't ask any more than that, right? So we'll go from there. The other fatal four-way is the Roman Reigns, Sheamus, Zayn, and Jericho one. This one as well was very good towards the end. Reigns is still getting booed big time. I would go on a big tirade about turning him heel, but I'm sure that all of our fans have of sick of death of that, man. I think, you know, I must have said for the last 20 weeks, turn him heel, fucking hell, turn him heel. You know, you guys know my thoughts on it. And you know what? It annoys me that I end up talking about that every fucking week. It's like, why haven't they done it by now? It's just stupid. But anyway, Roman hits a spear on Jericho and goes on to face Balor in the main event. I thought this was very interesting because that it gave WWE a very big choice here. Stick to their guns and give the fans something they expect, which is Rollins and Reigns for the title, or give them something fresh and give something to the fans that they never had before. That was their choice.
Yeah.
I have to admit, guys, I expected them to go with giving the fans something that they expected. But we'll get into that later on. I was quite glad with their choice, as you can probably already tell. So New Day out. They're celebrating the launch of Bootios as a actual cereal. This is just a build-up for them getting attacked by Gallows and Anderson. Seems to be their new title contenders. And fair play. Completely fine with me.
Yeah.
I mean, I said it before. I think Gallows and Anderson should be the champions. I mean, the title reign record, I think it's already gone. That's what they were celebrating here. Blow this division wide open. Make new champions, get new contenders. I'm not saying that the New Day shouldn't be involved, but they have been champions for a long time. You know, it's time to freshen things up a little bit. Neville is back. He beats Curtis Axel. That really is all there is to say about it, really. So there is that. So Billy McGee says Sonny Boy for Hall of Fame. You probably don't know what that means. They brought a guy in. They did some really awkward comedy with a guy that apparently was called Sonny Boy. I wasn't a big fan of it. But
is that the guy who Strowman fought?
No, completely random guy from the crowd. But,
okay.
Well, not so random because they obviously planned a comedy routine, but there we are.
With who?
Some dude.
No, but like whose comedy routine?
New Days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm skipping over things because I'm trying to condense my review here. So that's part of the reason why I said it at the start.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was saying that, like, you just carry on, and I'll ask questions if I want answers.
Oh yeah. Same on my side when you cover Smackdown, right? Taking a drink there. All right. So Axel versus Neville. So Neville is back without build up, but he does look good. I like his beard; suits him well. Axel's now got the nickname of Mr. Irrelevant, but it actually makes sense here because commentary explained that in the NFL and NBA drafts, anyone who's drafted at the very last is known as Mr. Irrelevant because obviously he was very last. Curtis Axel was the last person drafted, so he's taken on that nickname as Mr. Irrelevant.
Oh, they're going with it as a gimmick.
I don't think it's so much as a gimmick. I think that, you know, it's something for him. You know, I think.
God, I fucking hope
not. Hey, you know what? If it gets a gimmick, gets a TV time, I'm sure he'll be happy with that at the very least at the moment. But there we are. Whenever I look at Axel, though, I'm looking at him like, you were once wrestling Triple H, and he was treating you like you were something of a big deal once.
Yeah, the chains are off.
The chains are off. Yeah, exactly. Bob Backlund, Matt, does what every wrestling fan wants to do. Violently scream at Goldust and R-Truth for invading their time and space. What an American hero. That was literally the best part of Raw, guys. Bob Backlund screaming at these guys. It was that genuinely made me smile. It really did. That warmed my heart. It really did. One of the things, Matt, you know, one of the things that I've said before that I want them to do with new guys coming in, video packages, they give one to Finn Balor. I'm like, did they just fucking listen to like all the things that we said before and just decided to apply it now?
They did it for some, not for new guys, but they did something like that with The Smackdown guys for their main event.
Oh, American Alpha, is it?
No. Oh, they did one for American Alpha, yeah.
Okay.
But what? Like a Who Are We? Who Am I video package?
Yeah, sort of like an educational, well.
Oh, okay, like
awesome.
that sort of thing. Fair enough.
Yeah. But like I said, man, I've wanted to move along. When Breeze came in, they didn't do a single one. I ranted about it for weeks. Balor's in, they gave him a video package. That's education for the crowd right there. Absolutely good stuff. And there was just little changes here on the show that I very much approved of. So good stuff there. So the first of two massive talking points here on this show: Sasha Banks versus Charlotte for the Women's Championship. Now, I thought they would save this match for SummerSlam, of course, but as I said there before, if you want to put down a marker and start off strong, like I said, I can't fault WWE for it. Fair play. You want to go with it now, then you can do the rematch at SummerSlam, right? Got no problem with it. I love it here. First of all, that to get Dana ejected from the ring mat, that Sasha used Eddie Guerrero's playbook. An old classic. She throws the title up in the air. Dana catches it. She feigns that she got hit. Dana gets ejected from the match. So, considering all the, it's been well documented that Sasha, and her adoration, right?
Oh yeah, he's a massive Eddie fan. Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. A nice little thing, and the little cheeky smile is straight from Eddie, right? That's exactly there. It's awesome stuff. These women absolutely battered the fuck out of each other. They really did. There was a point here, actually, where Sasha dived out of the ring and scorpioned herself. That's basically the best way, where you land and your legs fucking bend back to your head and all that shit. She did that. It looked all kinds of painful, to be fair. But they did give it to each other. They gave their beatings to each other. Charlotte, in fact, gave a moonsault from the top rope to the outside.
Ooh.
Yeah. Cameron Hunt is saying that I think the reason they didn't wait till SummerSlam is because Charlotte's reportedly taking time off after SummerSlam. I've heard contrary reports, but I'm sure we'll find out after that. But we'll see how it goes. To be honest, she has been going for a while. She deserves like a month off to rest.
I think it's like, what was it? I read it somewhere. Like, there's only 3 people who have done every pay-per-view in their first year in the company. Like a whole year solid of each pay-per-view for that calendar year.
Yeah, and Charlotte's one of them now, isn't she?
Charlotte's now one of them.
Yeah.
The other 2 are Owens and Undertaker.
Yeah. They've been working hard, right? She's been definitely doing the rounds, right? She hasn't been inactive or anything along those lines. She's been doing her stuff. So if she is taking time off, fair enough. But I've heard contrary reports, but we'll soon see how it goes from there. So back to the match anyway. There's an awesome moment here right at the end, which is a great match. This match is. It's where, to be honest, I would have put this as the match that finished the show. Let the women main event Raw in a big time title match. To me, that should go above who finds out their number one contender. To me, right? Even though I'm a big Balor fan, and what happened there, but this is a title change. I think this is a full thing here. Billy McGee says, "I need to go to bed. Hurry up, guys. Just catch the rest tomorrow, man."
The thing I quite like is the fact that that's it's like we want to go new era. So let's go new era. Like we're having a women's match as main event. Hasn't been like as an actual match. Hasn't been done since Lita Trish.
Yeah, would have put down an even bigger marker, right?
Yeah.
But, still, the match itself was great. At the end here, what I did like here is that Charlotte is beaten up here, and she just basically tells Sasha, she looks at her, maybe she knew she was beaten, she was just trying to be defiant, but she looks at Sasha and says, "You'll never beat me. You know that, right? You can't beat me." And then straight afterwards, Sasha Banks hits the bank statement, captures the women's championship. And then it's ironic in a sense that this is the second title that Sasha has taken away from Charlotte.
Yeah.
Anytime that Charlotte's lost the title, it's Sasha's been the one that's taken it from her. So a bit of kryptonite maybe for the former champion. Sasha here, genuinely touched, genuinely emotional, and the crowd start chanting, "You deserve it," as they do the after-match interview. And when you go back and see...
Just quickly, you say like an after-match interview. Did they do it like in the ring, or was it a backstage thing?
It was in the ring. It was in the ring when they did it.
Yeah, because I've noticed that SmackDown started doing that.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm not a big fan of that, but that's okay. You know, I'm not too bothered with that. And here, like I said, it gave her a moment. I think they should just let her celebrate. You know, if it was at the end of the show, they could have even done confetti and all that sort of shit, but obviously it wasn't. But still, but when you go back and you look at Sasha Banks when she started at NXT, all I got to think of is, wow, what a fucking evolution for the woman, right? I will openly admit, guys, when I first saw Sasha Banks, I thought, she's all right. She's nothing particularly special. And then she goes on and becomes one of the major parts of a rebirth in women's wrestling, especially in WWE.
You're thinking of like when she was nothing more than sort of like the girl next door, Sasha Banks, like before she became the boss.
Oh yeah, when she first came in, yeah. You know, and I couldn't call it back then. I didn't see the potential, guys. I will be honest, but she is one of the best women they have got, without any stretch of the imagination. And her matches and her body of work in the ring tell the story for herself. You know, that's just the way it is. I know that women's wrestling as a division still needs work. I'm not saying that it's completely fine, but it's in a much better place now than it was before Sasha, Bayley, Charlotte, Becky, all those girls came in. But Sasha and Bayley, is those two, and what they did in NXT and some of the stuff that Sasha's now doing on the main roster, they're almost like they're kind of almost above themselves, right? You know, they're on a very big pedestal, you know, and rightly so. So big props to both women for the match. It was a marker, it was a big moment, and they're going to do the rematch at SummerSlam, and I expect a very, very good match. But good stuff. Thumbs up for it. Very good stuff. Braun Strowman wrestled a piece of meat. The piece of meat actually got a promo in before the match saying that he's marinated himself and preheated his body for optimal cooking temperature. That's very nice of him, actually.
Oh, such gentle.
Yeah, he's very nice.
It's considerate.
You know, he's just, he's there with the honey, just like, putting it over his body. Right? He's like,
just as Strowman's coming down to the ring, he's just there with a pepper mill.
Yes, just putting it over himself, and the referee is not so much a referee, but more like a waiter. Here is your meal, Mr. Strowman.
Would you like one?
And Strowman is all than more than happy to get his victory and eat the guy, essentially, to feed, and he does. And he shaved his head and everything, so he's gone like the proper thing. They're going for the monster thing with him, okay, but
they kind of have to.
I'm not confident, shall we say, because he still needs to fill in a lot of gaps in his overall game. But if they want to build him up, I give him lots of jobbing victories, lots of squash victories, against a lot of jobbers, then okay, then maybe that'll give him time to fix it. But there we are. There was a bit here with Enzo and Cass and the Shining Stars. I actually am quite shocked that the Shining Stars were able to come out. I didn't think they, fucking hell, whatever. They have a match. Enzo and Cass win. There's really nothing else to say here. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. So Reigns and Balor, then, the final part of this. For those who, this is going to be a little bit of a run. For those who caught the words of, I don't know, I think it was like Jim Cornette or Vince Russo, but anyone who's moaning about apparently wrestling is dead, Matt, because Finn Balor won this match and he went on and now he's going to challenge for the new championship. Okay, so wrestling's dead. So guys, this is done. Wrestling's dead, right? It's over. That shit is done, right? We all need to go home.
We'll find something else. We'll find something else to chat about.
Next week it will be the Let's Talk Tennis podcast, because we'll have to just do something else, right? This is ridiculous. So as a person who paid cash money to see an event with Finn Balor in the main event as the champion against a guy who is bigger than Roman Reigns, and a lot of people paid tickets and were very happy to go see Finn Balor at Wembley at NXT TakeOver London, I think it's fucking ridiculous what he put out. Just because this doesn't reflect the wrestling philosophy that died over 15 years ago, that you can't evolve from and that you still adhere to, that doesn't mean that he isn't big time, right? There's a reason why people are into him and people don't like the fucking shit that you put out anymore, because we've evolved as fans and you're stuck in a philosophy and an ideologic mindset of 2 decades ago. Right? Wrestling has moved on since then. Kayfabe has died. Get the fuck over it. Right? No one's fooling themselves anymore. You are fooling yourself. And you're ridiculous for doing so. I shouldn't get angry at this because I know they're doing it just because... Listen, I know why.
Talk about me.
Yeah, right. Here's the thing: when you've got the likes of Ric Flair coming out and saying, "Oh, well, Finn Balor will never main event WrestleMania," I'm like, my advice to Finn Balor, right, is that the fact is that
just take it and run with it. Just like, oh, really? You don't think so?
Yeah. If I was Finn and you're listening to that, don't listen to the likes of Ric Flair and other legends who might want to put you down and say that you'll never do this and you'll never do that. The reason why they're talking about you is because you're hot, right? The reason they're talking about you is because they're jealous that the hype is on you, you're in your prime, and their careers are done. I know it's harsh, but so is the words that they said to him, right? So they don't want to swallow that you're a talented guy who has a shot at being better than they did or achieving things that they never have done. Right? Don't listen to these fucking guys. I'm a big fan of Bret Hart. Love the guy. I give that same advice to Seth Rollins with the stuff that Bret Hart has said about him. You know? It gets me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, exactly what you mean. I saw it too, and I was sort of like, really? I think it kind of... I think it's like the old guard not wanting to drop it sort of thing. Because it kind of boils down to, do you remember with Ricochet and Ospreay's match? And you had Vader, who's just like, the fuck is this? It's like, this is where wrestling's going now. Yeah.
Like, here's the bottom line of it here. They're all wrong. And the reason why they're all wrong is because people are willing to pay to see Finn Balor. People are willing to pay to see Ricochet. People are willing to pay to see Will Ospreay. Just because they're not, they may be saying, "Oh, wrestling is dead." Wrestling's not dead. It's just the form of wrestling that you think is the only thing that wrestling can be. That is dead. I fully agree with you. But as I've always said, Matt, wrestling is an art form that needs to evolve in order to survive and can be molded to suit certain different practices.
Yeah.
The way that Lucha Underground does their things is a perfect example of that. And these guys are unwilling to evolve and willing to evolve their mindset, then fine, be left in the past. In the end, more people will think like me and less people will think like you. That's all I have to say, to these guys. Get over it. Get over yourselves. That's what I have to say. But there you are. You think wrestling is dead? Oh, go fuck yourself. Your wrestling is dead, and I'm quite happy it is. There you go. There's my rant. Sorry, guys. Got a little bit pissed off with that. Finn Balor does win this match. He is going to go face Rollins. And guess what, guys? It'll be a fantastic match that I will be happy to pay to watch.
There's quite a lot of discussion at the moment, like which match is going to main event SummerSlam. Like whether it's going to be for the new belt or for the WWE belt.
Would be quite interesting, wouldn't it? We'll see how that goes. This was a good match here. I will say that here.
I just want entrance.
Oh, I think it'll be electric. His entrance. I think it really will be. So, a great episode of Raw. I think this is what some people have called this the best episode of the year. It's certainly got a chance, right? It's certainly got a chance of being up there. You got that big time match with Balor and his arrival to the scene. You can't really arrive much bigger than he did, right? New women's champion. What a huge moment, a change on several mainstays of the show. The fact that we didn't see Steph for the huge majority of the show. JBL is gone. The focus on the in-ring talent. Matt, this is a massive thumbs up for me. This is to a point where I think there's enough on the show that I think you would want to watch it over again. So I'm actually going to give it that rating, which is a big endorsement, right? But I think there's enough here that you would want to go. I want to go watch Charlotte and Sasha again. I want to go see Balor in his match again in the starting match and some of the stuff that he did.
Fair enough.
You know, I want to see Bob Backlund shout at Goldust and R-Truth again. That was fantastic. I love it. Awesome stuff. So yeah, I do think there's some good shit to see here. They went big dick, and I'm glad that they went big dick. So Matt, I will hand it over to you for your SmackDown review.
I feel bad because SmackDown wasn't really like this.
Okay.
SmackDown wasn't bad. Yes, I mean they've got the new stage as well,
Okay.
but it's a bit bland. So Raw now has the two, like this double arch thing.
Yeah.
Not like a McDonald's ripoff, but you know, SmackDown doesn't have that.
Okay.
SmackDown, are they what?
I don't saying. I mean, obviously they've still got the HD set, but what have they put around it?
They've got the pay-per-view set.
Oh, really?
You know, when they don't have a ramp.
Oh, that's a bit odd, isn't it?
Mm.
Oh, that's. I'm not a big fan of that.
Nope.
No.
Nor am I. Yeah. And I don't like. And I wanted Shine Down. Like if I was gonna get a new song, I wanted Shine Down. Damn it. Anyway. Yeah, similar sort of thing, similar sort of setup where it's like, hey, new episode, everyone in the ring, and let's sort of do this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all right. They declared that there was going to be a 6-pack challenge for the #1 contendership of the WWE belt. So in a similar sort of mindset, like you had the 2 fatal 4-ways, winner fight it out.
Yeah.
With this one, it was a 6-pack challenge of Cena, Ziggler, AJ, Corbin, and
others that
Wyatt.
and what? Okay.
And the 6th person was going to be the winner of the Battle Royal, which kicked off the show.
Okay, so someone would get like a wild card entrance.
The wild card entrance, which fell to Cruz.
Okay, fair enough. Cool.
Which was pretty good. Yeah, and it's one of those sort of like, oh, we're here to bring out a new era of SmackDown, blah, 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 blah. I'd imagine probably the same sort of promo that you had.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I kind of smoothed over it a lot there, to be honest, but stuff. Yeah.
Like this all branched off. The Battle Royal was okay. Zack Ryder's got botchy.
Oh, okay, which is not good for him.
He botched an elbow drop.
Okay.
You may ask how. He fell off the top. He fell off the top turnbuckle.
Oh, was it ugly?
Like he went to jump and he slipped and fell in the ring.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he completely missed the basement drop kick. You know where he does it, where he like sort of sunset flips them. They're sat on their ass, and he comes along and drop kicks them in the back of the head.
Yeah.
He missed Kalisto's head and pretty much just kneed him in the noggin.
Geez, so a bad night in the office then for Mr.
Ryder.
Ryder.
Night in the office for Mr. Ryder, but he was like 3rd. He was like the last 3.
Oh, fair enough.
Somehow. So it wasn't too bad. But yeah, that puts Cruz in for the main event. What was the match after that? We had Natalya versus Becky. For some reason.
Again, yeah, okay.
Becky won. I phased out.
There's a bit of 50-50 booking there for you, isn't it?
Yeah. I completely zoned out on that match. I'm like, no. Not going to take part in this one.
Just going back to that for a sec, though, Matt, isn't that a bit of a shame, though? Because that's pretty much like the most high-profile women's match you've got.
What, as a female feud? Yeah.
On SmackDown, yeah. So if you're not into that, then they've really got to start rebuilding up some of these new girls coming in.
Well, what happens when you have the 2 big women for wrestle? Out comes all the girls.
Oh, really?
And just making themselves known. Yeah, it was like Bliss came out first. She got a pretty good reaction. Just going on about like how she's going to be the next biggest star. Then Naomi came out, and I forgot how average she was as a promo girl.
Oh, she's average. Yeah.
But she's going on about like how is Bliss going on about how she'll be the best when she hasn't even set foot in the ring yet. this one hurt.
Okay, go on.
Carmella came out.
Okay.
There was very little crowd reaction.
Oh dear.
And she bombed.
She bombed.
She just didn't. She did her usual sort of like, you know, and I am the queen of Saturn Island and all things like that. And it's like, it's all good. It's all her usual shtick.
Just didn't get to the crowd.
The crowd just didn't take it.
Oh,
which is a real shame, and that's kind of what I was worried about. I was like, he needs Enzo and Cass. And Cameron, no, it's not. It's really pretentious, and I hated it. But Eva Marie came out next. Oh God.
Okay, go on. Do explain to me.
You think Lesnar might get booed?
Okay.
Shit.
Go on.
This was on a whole nother level of Eva Marie getting booed.
Oh, really? Okay.
And it's just really fucking pretentious. She doesn't have her own. She does her own music and all that lot, but she actually has this like voiceover artist. Think of her music as being quite similar to Lana's, but with just some guy doing the voiceover of like, wherever she goes, it's a better place, and just like it's all that shit.
That sounds like. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like a pageant or something, you know?
Yeah.
You know, like Miss America, you know, like for the grace.
It's exactly that.
Oh, really?
She doesn't say a word. She doesn't have to, because there's whether that's even her actual entrance. If it is, I'm going to tear my eyes out every time she comes to the ring. It's just awful.
But Cameron's onto something, right? He says they could not be more heel. She's getting the.
Yeah, like she wants heat. She's fucking got heat. I know at one point, I swear, like I know at one point there was a whole lot of like, I don't understand why nobody likes me except that nobody likes you because nobody likes you at all. Yeah, it's great. It's terrible. I don't know what I think about it.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just really pretentious.
Which I guess was kind of the point, I guess, you know.
Yeah. Ms. TV.
Oh God.
You say that it's worse than you could possibly think.
Oh really?
So
I'm afraid already, just by the way.
Miz plays up this big old spiel about it being like, oh, my guest at this time, multiple champion, and all these things, like he's headlined WrestleManias and all that lot. He's playing it up, and everyone's like, as a result, you're going, oh, it's got to be Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Like, which then instantly thinks, why is it Randy Orton? He had he was on I was about to say Talk is Jericho, but the highlight reel the night previous. Like, why? It's not. It's himself. And he's going to be ever so happy and talking about that. But it's ridiculous because he just jumps from chair to chair and it's just like, shut the fuck up and go away, please.
Is it a point where it gets annoying that you just don't want to watch anymore rather than that guy, I wish he gets beaten up sort of thing?
Well, Randy Orton comes out.
Oh, okay.
Makes remarks about how Miz likes playing with himself.
Okay.
Because that's kind of what he was doing. The Miz was jumping from chair to chair to interview himself. So I guess that's where you go with that.
Yeah. He's stretching for a sex-based joke when he knows that I am the king of sex-based jokes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just awful. I didn't enjoy this bit. And I don't know what I think of. Like, have you heard about Viperville?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know what I think of Viperville, but he seems to be really trying to push it as a thing.
I don't think it's going to become a thing.
I don't think.
Was it like Mean Girls? It's not a thing. Stop trying to make it a thing.
Exactly like that. Yeah. It's exactly Mean Girls. Stop making it happen. It's not going to happen. And it all breaks down. And obviously, you go and interrupt a Miz TV segment. You better get ready for a match.
Yeah.
Which the Miz is like, no, I'm not going to do that. But Orton somehow gets under the skin of Maurice cue the match. It's average. It's not well. It's a lot of limb targeting.
Okay.
It's just you just come back from an injured shoulder, haven't you? Excellent. You're going to spill out of the ring, and I'm going to throw you into every solid object. But if there's one thing that we always love about Randy Orton, he does like to drop the F-bomb.
Oh, he did he?
He did. The first time he spilled out the ring, he spills out back. He goes over the ropes really badly, and he must have he clocked his shoulder pretty good on the apron. But it's just the moment, fortunately the camera's facing away from him. But there's that very long pause of nothing, where you just know full well that Orton is not looking at the camera, but everyone who's the other side of him is just thought Mummy, what's he saying? Shut up. Don't look at him.
He is prone to a swear word on occasion, is he not?
Oh, yeah. But it all breaks down. Miz is yeah, I've got this. Throws him in the ring. RKO.
Yeah. Well, you see, I mean, that's his first match back in God knows how long. So at least
it's his first match back in 9 months. Which they push out. It's well, yeah, I haven't been gone for 9 months. They go with the whole I haven't been gone for 9 months, but SummerSlam doesn't have to be my first match back.
Yeah.
But it's quite good. He builds it up. He gets the first RKO and he just goes a bit crazy, and then throws out for a second RKO. Everyone cheers. Everyone leaves happy. Miz got RKO'd.
Yeah. Building him up for SummerSlam, then I'm guessing. I didn't think they would have him wrestle before then, but still okay.
Yeah, well, I guess he's got to get rust off.
Yeah, I mean, almost a little bit like on Raw, they were trying to make a marker down, make it must see, I guess, and maybe Orton wrestling for the first time in ages. That would have been a big deal or something along those lines, you know.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. But it all sort of carries on, really. What's after that? Slater. Oh, because at some point we got the American Alpha promo video, which I forget when that was. But when I messaged you, I think it was earlier on today. I love it. I forget how much I love American Alpha and just how it was just sort of no, Chad Gable, I won't be your partner. Come on, Jordan, be my partner. It's no, fuck off. But come on, we'll be such a good team. No.
Oh.
And now it's they're on fire.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that they're on SmackDown, and I can't wait. They're back next week.
It's weird that I was saying about Sasha Banks seeing the evolution of them, and you go back and see the early promos of Gable and Jordan. Jordan was teaming with random people because he needed to find a new tag team partner. It's
because he didn't want Gable.
Yeah, the evolution since then is just immense. It's so good, but yeah,
it's something it's ridiculous, but I love it. But yeah, no, it's quite good. We get an in-ring promo with Slater. He attacks some guy. I don't even know who it was. Somebody was in the ring, and I'm not even sure if it was a talent. It looked like a local guy who was just there to just get clocked in the mouth by Slater.
Was he piece of meat?
I don't know if it was piece of meat. He was very small. He could well have been.
It could have been piece of meat then, yeah. That should be a new gimmick going forward, by the way. Piece of meat.
Flesh.
Yeah.
Meat sack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But he comes out and he's sort of doing the whole sort of this is bullshit. Why was I not drafted? He's playing the free agent thing. And it's really good. And it's probably one of Slater's best promos about how he's I was in, saying, well, he says, rather than being in, I was the brainchild of the Nexus, the Core, 3MB. He's a multiple tag team champion and all things like that. And it's yeah, you fucking go, Heath.
He's worth more than Mojo Rawley. Come on. Yeah,
definitely. But it's quite good because then it just builds up, and Shane comes out and he's yeah, no, it's if you want a job, he was playing it up if you want a job, just got to drop in a CV sort of thing. Drop in your resume, and we'll have a talk and we'll get something sorted out. And Slater's oh, you're looking at the biggest free agent right now. Little does he know that somebody's climbed into the ring behind him.
Okay.
A certain beast?
Was it?
Beast. Probably a beast to put forward. Man beast.
Oh, that man beast.
That man beast.
Oh.
Big, like the little short, but about, as wide as he is tall.
Yeah.
Rhino.
He was at NXT recently as well, actually.
He was, yes. Yeah. That's great. But yeah, Rhino's like, okay, you gonna be free agent? I'm the free agent, and he just tears through Slater and just folds him in half in typical Gore fashion.
Yeah.
But it's almost like the crowd hasn't, like, I thought it was like, I swear, I know, like, some people will say that, like, oh, only certain amount of the crowd know who anyone really is.
Mm.
I swear that's different these days. Because, like, or everyone's now, like, so much smarter with everything.
Yeah, I get you.
Because, or like, if you'd watch NXT, then yes, you'd know who Rhino is. But if you'd also watched, well, if you just knew old WWE, you'd know who Rhino is, sort of thing. But it's great. I thought it was good. He gets folded, like, in a big way, like Slater does, and it just carries on. But it's great. I enjoyed it. What else did we have? I think that's it. Just main event time.
Okay. Well, you got a smaller show than I do. You've got 2 hours.
That's why that's why I kind of feel like I'm missing something. And that's it. 6-pack challenge. And that was okay as far as 6-man matches go.
When you say 6-pack challenge, what is it like? It's not like a scramble or anything, is it?
Fatal,
is it just
fatal 6-way?
Oh, really? Well, that sounds complicated. Yeah, go on.
But they made it work.
Okay.
Like, there wasn't actually. Yeah, it does sound quite complicated, and like, I'd hate to be an agent on that thing, but no, it was actually pretty. It was quite a good match. I think it's just because it's that moment. There's the one thing I love in wrestling. It's sort of like, you could have these 20-minute classics. If it was just one-on-one, it'd be fine. But the moment you have to, like, build some time for something else to happen, that body slam that you got up from 3 weeks ago that counted for nothing is now the one thing that could have ended your career.
Yeah.
Like, you see Cena, who's like rolling around on the outside, he's like, oh my God, I'm dying. And it's like, get the fuck up.
We've seen him take like mega moves and take
That's
them, like,
it.
Yeah.
It's like he took a hip toss, like, how do I go on? I love it. Like, if there's one thing about wrestling I love, and that's always going to be one of those things. And I guess it always comes down to Cena, like when he's overreaching for a tag. But it's good. It's solid. There's a nice little moment of everyone gets their shit in, which obviously means it's time to go home. After Cena goes all super.
Of course, it's like it's the first Smackdown. He has to do it. It's
4 people straight taken.
Really? Oh wow, jeez.
4 people solid. Bray just takes one. Cruz takes one. Corbin, no, 3 solid. Corbin fights it a little bit. He gets a couple of elbows in, and then he takes one. And then it's like, as like Cena turns around, he catches the phenomenal forearm in the mush. Cena rolls out of the ring. Styles is like, the fuck? Who am I going to pin now? He turns around, bang, takes a super kick in the mouth. Dolph Ziggler is our #1 contender. And it feels really weird to say that.
It does, doesn't it? Like Cameron here is saying in comments, I think Ziggler is the perfect opponent for Ambrose. When I heard that Ziggler is the #1 contender, first of all, I'm a Ziggler fan, but like, there's no build up to him. He's just kind of been doing nothing. He's like, now he's the #1 contender for the world title.
Yeah, especially recently, when it's just like he's spent months just pre-show matches with Corbin.
Yeah, losing to Corbin as well.
Yeah, in most of them. So all of a sudden, it's like, he's our number one contender? Why?
Yeah. Now, the only thing I can think of is that, obviously the SmackDown lay of the land is a little bit thinner, right? Just because it's 2 hours, it's got less people to choose. And I think they're going to do Styles and Cena again. So who do you pick after that? And maybe that answer, maybe they were thought, there really isn't that many that we could pick. So maybe Ziggler, just for a good technical match with Ambrose, or maybe make Ambrose look better as a champion or something like this.
That's it. I mean, there's one thing I quite liked about this whole show is the fact that there was like everyone got a moment in front of like the black screen. Okay, and not like tucked in the corner. Like every person who was in this 6-man match for the main event all had a moment to sort of cut a little promo. Yeah. And it was really good. And Bray was the last person because it led into his entrance.
Yeah.
Typical Bray fashion of we're here. But that was really good. They built it up. And like Ziggler's was relatively passionate. But I don't know. I'm just saying that Cena didn't get one. I'm struggling to buy in on it.
Yeah. No, I can agree with that, because when I first heard it, I was a little bit like, that's an odd choice to me.
Yeah.
But what review score would you give the show overall? Because you get just by the general feeling, it doesn't sound like it was the.
I'd watch it once.
Yeah,
definitely worth a once. But there's nothing on here that I'm clamoring to go back to.
No, I get it.
Maybe next week when Shelton Benjamin turns up, and
yeah,
I think it's in next week. Shelton Benjamin's coming to SmackDown.
The gold standard, right?
Gold standard on SmackDown. Plus American Alpha's next week as well.
Yeah. So it looks like they've got a lot built up. That's one thing I'm worried about Raw. I hope Raw didn't just like go all in, put all their chips in this first week, and the next week it'll be like, oh, so now we've got 3 weeks of trying just to build up or follow what we did. Whereas like SmackDown, maybe they played it a bit safe. They didn't go like a barn-busting show.
It does kind of feel like that.
Yeah. But we'll certainly see when.
But we don't have like you guys, like you were saying about like your announce teams are all up at the back.
Yeah,
ours by the ring again.
Yours hasn't moved.
Ours hasn't moved.
I think maybe they kept it there because they don't want. While they want change, they want them to be different from each other, I guess.
Yeah, to maintain diversity, I suppose.
Yeah, which is what I said. Like going into the brand split, I said that it was absolutely essential that they make both shows look different. They make it feel different. Now. I was going along the idea of like the core philosophies of the show, but I mean, Raw felt different this week. I will say, Raw felt like it was like they've changed some of the core philosophies of the show. So, Cameron's got a question here. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. 2 hours or no JBL? No JBL. I would take 3 hours without JBL rather than 2 hours with him.
Yeah.
Absolutely, actually, yeah. The 3 hours this week, or maybe it's just this week. Maybe as you go along.
Like I'd just take JBL out of everything.
What about 4 hours?
What 4 hour Raw with no JBL?
With JBL.
Fuck,
4 hour show.
Man, that's a prison sentence, surely. Just 4 hours and just JBL.
Yeah, and only JBL on commentary. That sounds like a nightmare right there. Yeah. He's getting a lot of battering this week. JBL, people were not happy with him. Maybe it's just because they saw what Michael Cole could be without JBL, something along those things.
Like I hear loads of people saying that he was terrible this week. I don't think he was terrible. I don't think it was his best. I think it might just be the fact that I've also just zoned. I think after all this time of watching Raw, I can just like zone him out.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else that you want to cover on SmackDown, or will we answer a couple of questions and then wrap up? All right. Let's do our plugs first. Go on, Matt. Sorry.
I was going to say I've got nothing else to add.
Yeah, no problem. Let's do our plugs, and you guys can ask us a few lasting questions to wrap up here on the show. Of course, if you'd like to interact with us here, the main way of doing so is our Facebook page, facebook.com/Let's Talk Wrestling Podcast. You can also send us a tweet to our Twitter handle of
@TalkWrestlePod.
I murdered the fuck out of that. I really did, but still. And of course, you can send us any audio questions or private emails to Let's Talk Wrestling Podcast @gmail.com. All that beautiful stuff. Lovely. Lana or Alexa Bliss? Billy McGee says, what do you think, Matt? Lana or Alexa Bliss?
Bliss.
You can go with Bliss.
I'll go with Bliss.
You know my answer, Matt. You know my answer
I
already.
didn't even have to ask it.
Of course, it's the Ravishing Russian. Of course, it's the Ravishing Russian. Now, the only woman I would pick above Lana, of course. Do you know the one woman I would pick above Lana, Matt? I think you might know.
Could it be Lillian because she's a classy lady?
It is Lillian. She's a classy lady. She is. If I had a chance to have, I mean this honestly, if I had a chance of 2 hours of raw, unadulterated sex with Lana, or just a night of a date with Lillian Garcia, I would actually pick the date because she's a classy woman.
Well, at least you know the date you'd last all evening.
Yeah, exactly. You're quite on the ball there, Matt. I'm slowing down a bit. But you seem to be gaining more momentum. I'll just let Lana go to Shinsuke Nakamura because you already put over the fact that he's a bit of an aggressor. So maybe that was that'd be a bit weird anyway. Of course, Cameron says my wife. Of course, I would pick my wife. You know. My wife's cool. She knows when I get questions like these that I answer them, and she's always number one. She's always numero uno. Same with your other half, Matt. You know, they're always numero uno. Always numero uno. There's no point even bringing it up though because they know it. You know,
that's
they
it.
know. We treat them right. We treat our other halves right. Have you guys got any other? Do you know Billy just put up there? Oh my goodness. Oh god. Oh, he's just trying to piss me off now. He's trying to piss me off. I'm not even going to say what you just said. No, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that shit. I can't deal with that. Have you guys got any other questions for us? We'll stay another couple of minutes, answer them, then we'll be on our way. We're a little bit over 2 hours, but because you guys have been sticking with us all the way throughout. This has been pretty damn cool. Let us know as well if you like the format of how we did things here. And with the reviews, let us know if you did miss this and you'll listen to this back on the live show. Would you like us to give obviously more? Of course, you'd like more notice, but you'd be interested in watching the live shows because it was something that we'll try again later on at a later date as well, and give a little bit more notice. Maybe in a couple of weeks, something along those lines. Billy McGee says, Tony, I'm a liar. You'd have the animal sex. Okay. I'm just going to tiptoe away from that. I think we're going into... yeah, exactly. Cameron Hutton, do you think Bayley will come up after SummerSlam? I think that's their plan. I think the report said that that they want her to do, obviously, Brooklyn, against Asuka. And that coincides with SummerSlam, and she got the on Raw. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It kind of, I know that I said that I didn't like the fact that she came up on Battleground and then she just goes away for a month, and she could have double dutied for a while, but it's a little bit like if she was around before SummerSlam, then they would have to come up with a match for her, and it would just be rushed together at the last minute. And you can't do Bayley like that. You can't do Bayley. You need to come up and have a plan with what she's doing.
Like my problem with that is of course she'll come after SummerSlam, but I don't think it'll be too soon after SummerSlam. I think the slight problem would be she's been introduced to the crowd, yes, but I think to leave in the bit of suspense would be better rather than just straight up just bringing her in.
Yeah, that's it. I just don't want her to do. I don't want her to be thrust into a situation and then her first real couple of months, a couple of weeks on the main roster are just kind of eating up space.
Or if she actually comes up and she actually has no purpose of being there.
And that's often sometimes,
which would be the worst case for someone like Bayley.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. But still, I think she'll come up after SummerSlam. I think she'll get wrapped up with that shit at that point. The Battleground thing was just to give everyone kind of a taster of it, but there we go. We're getting Shag, Marry, Kill for Alexa Bliss, Lana, Lillian Garcia. You guys know what I'm going to do with that already. You know it. Alexa Bliss is going to die. I've got to marry Lillian Garcia and then Lana. That's easy. That's too easy right there. What about you, Matt?
To be fair, I think I've got to agree with Cameron.
Oh, come on, you can't kill.
I think
Someone,
I think I
Lillian
agree
is a
with it.
classy lady, Matt. Class, you can't buy class, right? That's just there, right?
I'm not looking to buy it.
Yeah. Oh dear. But still. All right, you guys got 1 minute. We'll go 20 past. If you've got anything else, wrap it up here quick. Any questions? And we'll get this shit done. But Matt, have you had a good time?
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. Kind of enjoy the fact that we kind of just randomly did this. I know we've got some, it's one of those things. Actually, just to give a little bit of backstory, in terms of like monetization of these videos, actually doing them live doesn't really help us. It actually detriments the video, but we just like doing it anyway because it's a nice way of interacting. It's a different way of doing it. Like to make you think that we kind of grow as podcasters in a soppy sense, along those lines. Cameron asks, do you think that Balor will beat Seth? That's a good question. I do. I think he will. I think he will beat Seth, and then you've got that storyline running in. But although Seth would be losing quite a lot of matches by that point. But what do you think, Matt?
No, I think it'd be screwed.
You reckon Seth's retained? He's taking that title, yeah?
I reckon Seth will win it, but I think it'll be a screw.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I'm afraid that if they have Balor not win, that it might take away a lot of the steam. It might have. I'm not saying it's going to be like Ryback, where them throwing him in and never having the idea of him actually winning the title will be like a massive detriment to his overall career.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that maybe I'm reading a little bit too much into it, but I'm getting the feeling that WWE wants to appease their fans at the moment. They want them on board.
Yeah, I mean they want Balor. They hot on Balor. Like they did it because they put him as like the top guy. Like he was in their top 5 of the draft. So they want to take him to higher levels.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Yeah. Last questions here then. Cameron Hutton again. Can you see Brock main eventing SummerSlam? No, I don't think it'll be the main event. I think it'll be
one of the belts. One of the belts will be.
Yeah, I think you're probably going to have the belts back to back, or maybe with a dead match in between. I doubt that, though. I'm not sure. I see Brock being a match that happens in the middle of the show, and I don't see it going very long. Personally, I think it might be 10 minutes max, if I'm honest. Because I think, WrestleMania showed anything that Brock doesn't have to be in that main event slot for him to have that box office appeal to people. They'll still be involved and want to watch Lesnar do his thing. So that's us done then for tonight, guys. Thanks a lot, guys. I know it's a little bit late now. We're talking about 20 past 11 at night. Thanks a lot, guys. This should go up in a couple of maybe like an hour, maybe even quicker than that, for you guys to be able to watch in your own leisure. Thanks a lot. Let us know at a later time if you would like any more of these episodes and what you enjoyed of it, and leave any questions that you want us to cover next week here on the show, which will be a regular taped episode here of the Let's Talk Wrestling podcast. And we will be trying to do our Lucha Underground review as well. So we've got plenty of stuff there for you. And of course, we're always working on other stuff there as well, including debates and all that sort of thing. So I'm going to still definitely try and see if we can get that done soon. But thanks a lot for your time, guys. It's been great. Matt, let's get the hell out of here. We've got some video games to play anyway. So
it's time to leave.
It's time to leave. All right, guys. Have a great time. We'll catch you next time.
We'll catch you soon.
Bye-bye now.